You're back on Outside the Belly. I'm John Fredericks, and I am your blowtorch of free speech in America, your oracle of the deplorables. Great to have you with us. We've got, I did invite Mark Peake on our show. Scott Pio, who's the chairman of Loudoun County, I emceed one of his events, came out with a pretty detailed plan today, asking Peake to resign, blasting him. And I want to give Peake, and I had Scott Pio on, Scott Pio on yesterday. So I want to give Mark the opportunity to call in, which I'm going to give him now because he's kind of doing some stuff. So I'm going to give him the number now and see if we get him to call in. He's the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. So be on the lookout, Tyler. I've got Mark Peake calling in. I just want to give him a chance to rebut some of the things that Scott said yesterday. And, a lot of people obviously, we just, if you look at these results, I mean, we lost everything. We lost in Georgia. We lost in Mississippi. We lost in Virginia. We lost in New Jersey. We lost in New York City. We lost everything. And it's settling in now. It's settling in. And with this obscene redistricting, just obscene power grab in Virginia, which basically tears the Constitution up and, sets it on fire. It's kind of unbelievable. But they're emboldened. And this is why we got to triple down here. And what I'm intent on doing to defeat this referendum in Virginia that will likely be on the ballot in April with codifying abortion, which they'll do diabolically, the Democrats, in order to juice their turnout, is I am determined to put up a defense, to put up an opposition. That is not three consultants running a PAC through the NRCC, making millions of dollars like McCarthy did in California. And no diss on McCarthy, but he made a fortune and it got beat 2-1 and they had no ground game. And my concern in Virginia is there'll be grift and no ground game. And then we're going to lose, and then these seats are gone. So that's my concern about that. But I want your calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646 if you want to weigh in. And the president yesterday basically, the other thing that bothered me, and I said this at the 6 o'clock hour, is Utah has four representatives. They're all Republican. A judge just changed the maps so they have a Democrat in Salt Lake City. I mean, you really got to figure out what's going on here. I mean, now we got judges putting in Democratic congresspeople in order to win the midterms. That's what happened. I'm sure they'll challenge it again and lose. I mean, this is going to happen all over the nation. This redistricting thing, I mean, we better figure this out, right? Ginger in Florida says students should vote at their permanent residence, not a temporary address. I understand what you're saying, Ginger, but who's to say it's a temporary address? I mean, you can't tell a voter or a resident of the country, what's their permanent address, right? I mean, and I'll give my son as an example. He lives in College Park, Maryland. He comes home for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and 3 days in the summer. And then he's playing summer ball in somewhere else. He lives in College Park. He votes in D.C. Legally, he's a D.C. resident. That's where he votes. But if he said, I want to vote in College Park, well, he has an address there. Like he pays a utility bill, or mom does. Somebody does. I don't have a checkbook. So they figured
Peake,
that
line
out.
one.
Who?
Mark Peake.
Mark Peake, line one. Mark Peake, chairman, Republican Party of Virginia. Mark, thanks for calling in. We got 7 minutes. I might have to hold you over. I want to thank you for calling in. I had Scott Pio on yesterday, blasted you, told you to resign, said that the party's a mess. It has no clarity. It has no direction. It has no infrastructure. et cetera. Now he sent a big thing out today calling on the whole executive, whatever it is, executive committee to resign and the whole thing to be overhauled based on the results. So I wanted to get you on, Senator Peake, and give you a chance to respond to that.
Well, John, I expect that from Pio. I mean, that's the guy beat 65-13 to win the chairmanship. He's not a legitimate person to discuss this. John, I do expect better from you, and that's, you know better than what you were saying. You know better than what you were saying yesterday. You know the role of a party, a state party, and the national party, and the role of a campaign, and the role of who runs the House races, who runs the Senate races. You know the roles of various individuals and various entities in these races too, and you know what happened on Tuesday. And so to try and blame, and somebody posted, it's very, isn't it funny that New Jersey's state political party collapsed, Virginia's political party collapsed, Georgia lost statewide races, I guess their political party collapsed, Mississippi lost 2 Senate seats, I guess their political party collapsed. I mean, Pennsylvania lost seats it had never lost, I guess their political party collapsed. It is dishonest to blame this on the political parties right now. What you have, and if you ignore it, you're going to pay a price. What you have is an obvious move. They didn't like the government shutdown. And when Trump is not on the ballot in Trump states, you have a turnout problem. And we've known it, and they know it, and everybody's working to fix it, but it is not easily fixed. And for that clown to call for everybody to resign, nobody's paying attention to him, first of all. Second, nobody else is even talking like that other than the people. There are several people who have tried to get jobs consulting for RPV who we did not hire are the people who are complaining. And if we don't have consultants at RPV on the State Central Committee, we don't hire consultants. That is not what we do. So RPV, our members are elected by the units. They're elected by the people. We are a ground-up organization. From every unit, they send us their representatives to the state party organization. That's who picks us. We're not RPV chair, and that's what has no authority. He is the head of the organization and has no authority to hire, to pick who's on State Central. He doesn't get to pick who's the unit chair. Now, we have situations which I've disagreed with where a district committee removed a chair in Virginia Beach, which was a very bad idea, which I advise them not to do, but they have that authority under our bylaws. So the people make our bylaws. They pick the representatives on State Central, and we do not hire consultants. We don't run campaigns, and that is not what our function is. Now, we do have to get out there. We have to raise money. We have to spread the word. We have to build up our infrastructure. We have to get people. We give the tools to the units so they can go out there and increase their voter roll in their units so they can organize their precincts. And for Pio, who represents Loudoun County, who used to have 2 or 3 delegates and a state senator, he lost their state senate race in 2023. He lost their delegates this race, and the only race they won that he talked about was a school board candidate who said he did absolutely nothing to help her. They had a public fight on social media where he tried to take credit for it, and she lambasted him. So we have a statewide problem with turnout. It's not one unit chair. It's not the RPV chair. It's not RPV. But we have got to get people motivated. And when Northern Virginia is shut down and people are not getting paychecks, and many had been fired earlier, they were very motivated. And and let's not forget the 50-plus year history of going opposite the White House. And 2009, Bob McDonnell won by 17% with Obama in the White House. We won back 10 seats in the House of Delegates, got to 64 or 5. Donald Trump comes in 2017. We lose by 9%. We lost 15 House of Delegates races. 2019, we lost 6. So this is not an organizational issue, but that is not to deny that we have lots of room to improve, and we have to improve. And the most important area we need to improve in is fundraising, so that we can have more employees who can organize precincts, and voter registration. We've got to get more voters registered, and we've got to make sure for the past 6 to 8 years, we have tried to get Trump voters out when Trump's not on the ballot, and it's been difficult.
All right, hang in there for a couple of minutes through the break, and I want to ask you about what we're going to do in April. My concern is there's no functioning apparatus to get out the vote and defeat the referendum in April, which is coming, and I have no confidence that any judge is going to overturn what the Democrats are doing in this obscene power grab that, to me, is beyond the pale of anything I've ever seen, tearing up our Constitution. Mark, hang in there. I'm going to be right back at you.